Good morning, welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday, November the 18th, Monday again. And we're here to look at the new releases, yay, good news, that are being published this week. And on Mondays, we look at Cozy Mysteries. Quick announcements, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday night. I do them tomorrow night, though. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, every Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. Total of 10 hours of streaming for your self-care time carved out if you want to read, etc. Today, though, new books. Let's see what's out there. Reese Bowen has a new one in her Royal Spinous series. This is 18th in that series. New mother Lady Georgiana Georgie Rannoch finds herself trying to separate fact from fiction when a murder occurs while a film is being made on the grounds of her estate in a new Royal Spinous blah blah blah. It's late 1936 and King Edward is in turmoil, having fallen in love with the scandalously divorced and even more scandalously American Wallis Simpson. He wants to marry her, but knows that doing so will jeopardize his crown. Plus, Nazi ties. Edward confides in his dear friend Darcy, Georgie's husband, and the couple agree to hide Wallis in their home while Edward figures out what to do. But unbeknownst to Georgie and Darcy, Sue Hubert, the owner of the estate, has given a film crew permission to shoot a motion picture about Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn on the grounds. Trying to keep Mrs. Simpson hidden while raising a newborn baby seems like it couldn't be any more stressful for the Rannocks until one of the stars of the film is found murdered on the set. Georgie must solve the murder for the king and country before scandal threatens to envelop them all. Tracy Grant has a new one in her series. I do recommend this series, and yes, I did get it. I'm way far behind, though. In fact, I think I need to start it over. But it says 30th, but it does count the novellas in their math, so don't be intimidated. This is the Southcott Jewels, Tracy Grant. An invitation to the country estate of the Duke of Bamford seems a welcome escape from London intrigues for former spies Malcolm and Melanie Rannoch. They've just survived one of their most challenging and personal investigations ever, but the ducal house party is not quite the bucolic idyll that they hoped for. Anthony and Henrietta Southcott, Duke and Duchess of Bamford, plan to announce their shocking plans to divorce to their friends and grown children. The ensuing scandal alone is enough to shake the Regency beau monde, but the stolen treasure from the English Civil War, a secret passage, and stolen papers from the far more recent Napoleonic Wars plunge the Rannocks right back into the dangers they thought they had left behind. Soon they're racing to untangle a fiendish plot and prevent a disaster that would prove far more deadly than divorce. Again, I do recommend that series if you like historical mysteries set during Regency. And you've already read all the C.S. Harris books. The Inn at Holiday Bay by Kathy Daly, 30th in the Inn at Holiday Bay series. After suffering a personal tragedy, Abby Sullivan buys a huge old seaside mansion she has never even seen, packs up her life in San Francisco, and moves to Holiday Bay, Maine, where she is adopted quite against her will by a huge Maine Coon cat named Rufus, a drifter with her own tragic past named Georgia, and a giant dog with an inferiority complex named Ramos. What Abby thought she needed was alone time to heal. What she ended up with was an inn she never knew she wanted, a cat she couldn't seem to convince to leave, and a new family she'd never be able to live without. Background, I guess. Georgia and Tanner plan to family tie the knot the same week that the television station Georgia works for sponsors a Thanksgiving-themed cook-off. Nobody does it better than WKRP. Georgia, Amy, and chefs from 3 other local restaurants are asked to be judges, which turns out to be a lot more of a commitment than any of them planned for. When one of the cameramen assigned to the week-long event goes missing, his fiancée shows up to track him down. A Holiday Homicide. Good morning, Kim. How you doing? By Ellie Alexander. A new Ellie Alexander, fourth in a secret bookcase mystery series. As whispers of foul play swirl like snowflakes, Annie soon finds herself tangled in a web of secrets, small-town rivalry, and long-buried mysteries. With pub owner and new love Liam by her side and the help of her loyal bookstore colleagues, Annie sets out to solve Redwood Grove's latest murder mystery, and the closer she gets to the truth, the more she discovers that the baking community isn't as sweet as it seems. Can Annie unwrap the truth before the killer strikes again, or will this be one Christmas she won't live to remember? End of row one. A Type A Guide to Dinner Parties by Elizabeth Spann Craig. Second in the Sunset Ridge Mysteries, Samantha Prescott, the epitome of Type A organization, is determined to prove that hosting the perfect dinner party is a precise art form. From meticulously arranged seating to an RSVP system that could rival NASA's mission control, Sam's approach is nothing short of perfection. As she sends out invitations with embedded polls on dietary restrictions, arranges the table with military precision, and thoughtfully places cards for a seating arrangement worthy of a royal banquet, Sam believes she has anticipated every possible hiccup. Little did she know that a murder would be the unexpected guest at her rigorously planned dinner. Now armed with her trusty list, suspect scorecards, and a flair for deduction, Sam embarks on a quest to unmask the killer hiding among her seemingly well-mannered guests. Will she crack the case before dessert, or will her Type A tendencies become a recipe for disaster? Who needs a weekend? She can do it at dinner. Macarons and Murder by Lisa Maliga, fourth in Yolanda's Yummery Cozy Mysteries. It includes recipes for French macarons and cupcakes. Yolanda's Yummery is filled with excitement as she prepares for Valentine's Day by baking exquisite French macarons. That night's TV appearance on America's Best Bakeries will further benefit the Yummery, but the festive spirit is shattered when a shocking discovery is made. A friend's body is found in a nearby dumpster. Struggling to cope with the tragedy, Yolanda Carter partners with Detective Winston Churchill. There's stuff to do after retirement, to find the killer, surrounded by a cast of potential suspects, including her boyfriend, Nigel Garvey. Yolanda balances running her Yummery, that's just a weird word, gearing up for the first anniversary celebration and uncovering the truth. And if it's a weird, hard word to say, you are not marketing correctly. Just saying. But it's fiction. Waiting for a call from hospital telling me what time to be there tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. I'd been wondering if I should bring that up. It will be a good thing. It's just the beforehand where it's nervous. Fried Peanut Butter and Banana Felony. Elvis Pursley, Mysteries Book Number 2 by C. Love. Now that my great aunt's murder has been solved and her murderer put behind bars, everything is going great in yesteryear. It's just, I'm still adjusting to running this entire town, but I have a great boyfriend and an adorable cat who is only mildly driving me crazy, trying to get me to agree to this wacky idea of his that we could be detectives. But other than that, everything is fine, and the annual Elvis Fest is going off without a hitch. Wait, what's that? The 10-time champion of the fried peanut butter and banana sandwich eating contest just went face down into a plate piled high with Elvis's favorite fried treat and can't be resuscitated. It looks like there's another case for me and Elvis Pursley after all. Conspiracy and Cats by Verena DeLuca, seventh in the Dusty Paws Mysteries. When Natalie and Jake visit her mother in the quiet town of Marble Falls, they're hoping for a peaceful weekend, but family tension quickly surfaces as Natalie struggles to bridge the gap with her career-driven mother. Just as they begin to make progress, a best-selling author arrives with a desperate plea. Her laptop, containing her entire manuscript, was stolen. With this With the sheriff tied up by other cases, Natalie and Jake step in to help uncover a web of jealousy, ambition, and personal vendettas. I was going to make comments about backups, but I won't do that. End of row 2, because we need to keep moving. There's lots of cozies. Night Brew by Heather Day Gilbert, 9th in the Barks and Beans Cozy Cafe Cozy Mysteries. Welcome to the Barks and Beans Cafe, a quaint place where folks pet shelter dogs while enjoying a cup of java and where murder sometimes pays a visit. The Barks and Beans booth at the Renaissance Fair is hopping since Macy managed to talk her muscled redhead brother into donning a kilt for the occasion. Even better, Macy's boyfriend, Titan, has come for a visit, so she can't wait to peruse the shops and watch the shows with him. But when a well-rehearsed joust takes a fatal turn, Macy becomes a key witness. Can she believe her eyes, or did someone cloak their ruthless intent with smoke and mirrors? A late-night stakeout seems the only way to determine what really happened, but someone scarier than the plague doctor is lying in wait for Macy, and this time the damsel might not find a way out of her distress. Royally Snuffed, an amateur female Duchess detective. Cozy Mysteries, The Duchess of Snodsbury amateur series by P.C. James. 3 books in this series. What thorny secrets lie hidden beneath the blossoms? London, 1959. Lady Mary, Duchess of Snodsbury, has invited guests to her Snodsbury estate for a charming party featuring a tour of her newly rejuvenated rose gardens. The peaceful event quickly spirals into a vine of tangled mysteries and deadly secrets. Can Lady Mary keep her party blooming, or will a hidden threat uproot everything? And it looks like this is a trilogy. It says this is the last one. So if you want a short and sweet series set in the 50s. Booty in the Back Seat by Karen C. Whalen. Tow Truck Murder Mysteries, book number 6. High-heeled tow truck driver, I'm sure there's truck drivers going, yeah, right. Delaney Moran is shocked to discover bags of money in the back seat of a Volvo she has hired to tow. She's even more shocked to find a severed hand in one of the bags. She learns it's probably attached to like a Okay. She learns the car belongs to the aunt of her friend Rory. The booty in the back seat, amounting to $500,000, raises questions, but more mysterious is the disappearance of Rory's uncle. Spruce Ridge, Colorado is home to the rich and famous, and the uncle is a well-known movie producer. With that much money and a severed body part and the uncle gone AWOL, Rory fears a kidnapping when his aunt finally admits to receiving a ransom demand but was warned against calling the police. Delaney agrees to help. Is the kidnapper a drug kingpin seen with a victim, his neighbor who has reckless parties, someone connected to his new film, or perhaps the victim's spouse trying to cover up the murder of her husband? When a dead body turns up next and it's not the kidnapped victim, Delaney has 2 crimes to solve. Linda Riley has a new one. You feta watch out. 5th in the Grilled Cheese Mysteries. Christmas in the close-knit community of Balsamdale promises to be especially festive for Carly Hale this year when a prominent theater company comes to town to stage A Christmas Carol. But it turns out that Scrooge is not the most ill-tempered character in the production, as blowhard actor Prescott Lennon proves that he begins berating everyone else in the cast for their poor theatrics. When his arrogant behavior threatens the production, someone decides to resolve matters with a fatal solution and frames Carly's friend Gina for the murder. With such an unlikable victim, Carly finds herself faced with a long list of suspects, including a grieving widow who hasn't shed a tear, an ambitious understudy looking for his big break, and all the cast members Lennon mistreated. But there's a ghost of a clue in the air as rumors begin to surface that the dead man had a shady past that may have come back to haunt him. With her friend still on the hook, Carly will have to sort out past misdeeds from those of the present, even as her pursuit of the killer scares the dickens out of her. Includes melt in your mouth sandwich recipes. I know people like that series a lot. End of that row. and makes you want to eat grilled cheese sandwiches. Dominoes, Danzon, and Death by Raquel V. Reyes, fourth in the Caribbean Kitchen Mysteries series. It's been 3 years since food anthropologist and cooking show star Miriam Quinones Smith had her last brush with death. Her Spanglish culinary show, Abuela Approved, is topping the charts. Her parents are back in Miami and living with her in Coral Shores, and her kids are great. But when bones start popping up in unexpected places, Miriam's idyllic life is threatened. Her husband Robert's much-delayed hotel project screeches to a halt when human bones are unearthed. Tribal representatives, forensic archaeologists, and a pompous professor rain down on the possibly ancient site. Then a fake skeleton with the name Smith etched into it is found floating in the bay, with an ominous note. Is it a threat to Miriam's husband or her in-laws? And when Miriam's boss, Delvis, is seen going off on a tour guide who marched through the crew-only area on set and is later found dead, Delvis is declared the main suspect. To protect her family and friends, Miriam must dig up the truth that has been hiding in plain sight. A Spiffing Murder by Keith Finney. Second in the Rex and the Dowager series. Step into the enchanting yet treacherous world of 1920s England with this book. When Sir Herbert Cummings' chief accountant, Ferrier, collapses after a single bite of cake during a high society gathering, what seems like a tragic accident quickly hints at something more sinister. Joined by Scotland Yard's finest, Detective Inspector Arthur Whipple, the Dowager and Rex uncover secrets lurking beneath the estate's polished surface. As alliances fracture, the trio navigates class rivalries, personal vendettas, and buried motives among a colorful cast of suspects, each hiding dark secrets of their own. Pretty cover. Murder at the Painted Wings Cafe, a Seneca James mystery, second in that series, by Ruth J. Hartman. Seneca James' cousin Evie ends up in hot water when she's accused of stealing a wallet from an angry customer in the Painted Wings Cafe. The customer also happens to be the local bank manager, who Evie pleads with for a much-needed loan, resulting in a public spectacle as the bank manager refuses and ridicules Evie. When the manager later turns up dead inside the cafe and Evie is the most likely suspect, it will take all of Seneca's sleuthing and help from her best friend, Sheriff Cody Bales, and her cat, Winifred, to get Evie out of trouble. A Deadly Legacy by Evie Hunter, sixth in the Hopgood Hall Murder Mysteries. When Drew Hopgood's brother, Frank, dies whilst out climbing, it's initially thought his death was simply a tragic accident. But when Frank's much younger wife, Stella, arrives at Hopgood Hall, demanding half of Frank's inheritance, the Hopgoods and Alexei Ellis begin to suspect foul play. Stella has no claim to Frank's legacy, but she isn't giving up easily, and with the reputation of Hopgood Hall still fragile, Alexei can't afford to lose any more money because of Stella's greed. So Alexei, her partner Jack, and Cosmo, of course, decide to dig deeper into Stella's background. Just how did she meet Frank, and were they really as in love as she claims? End of that row. Jim Jones has a new one. Old-Fashioned Holiday Homicide, Bourbon B&B Mysteries, book number 3. Jess Walker is spending Christmas with her sisters for the first time in years, but it's a working holiday at the Three Sisters B&B in the heart of Kentucky's bourbon country. Jess, Em, and CJ are expecting a guest who has long dreamed of running her own B&B, so she'll be playing hostess while her extended family will join her as additional guests. Except the sisters end up doing most of the hard work and things keep going awry. Jess would swear the holiday is jinxed, and things go from difficult to downright dangerous when CJ delivers her bourbon cranberry sauce to the local gift shop and finds the owner dead. The sheriff immediately jumps to the wrong conclusions, and the sisters are determined to get justice for CJ's best wholesale customer. Suspects are scarce enough, and the B&B guests are spooked by the murder and threatening to cancel their booking. Can the sisters solve a murder while still giving their guests an old-fashioned holiday? The Telltale Homicide by Daphne Silver, second in the Rare Books Cozy Mystery Series. Rare Books librarian Juniper Bloom lands her dream job, creating a new museum in her Chesapeake Bay town of Rosemallow, Maryland. But on her very first day, she makes a shocking discovery: a dead man clutching a book by Edgar Allan Poe, stolen from the collections. As Juniper gets closer to cracking the coded message hidden inside the book, she realizes someone is desperate to keep its literary secrets buried, even if that means burying her, too. Dressed in her signature vintage style, with rescue pup Clover by her side, the fearless bookworm must hunt down the culprit before becoming the next victim. But can she solve the case without jeopardizing a budding romance with her boss, the dashing Leo Calverton? And can she help her sister Azalea perfect their grandmother's legendary blintz recipe before the Rose Mallow Festival? Deadly Circus by Jenna St. James, 28th in the Witch in the Woods series. It's an enchanted island full of secrets. It's July on Enchanted Island, which means the summer fun begin. When a traveling circus made up of myriad different magical supernatural sets up its tent, citizens young and old are excited, but when one of the performers ends up dead and floating in a body of water, the excitement turns to horror. Good thing Shayla, Needles, Zoe, and the rest of the gang are ready to jump in and solve this violent crime. With so many suspects on the list, this case may be even more difficult than usual for Shayla. Add in the cryptic message from the elderly fortune teller that left everyone stunned, and Shayla is fighting an uphill battle. Can she discover who the killer is before they strike again? Or will Shayla end up being the final act in a killer's twisted circus of horrors? And that is all we have time for today. We'll cover those throughout the week. If there aren't a whole lot in the other categories, definitely on Friday. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? I'm off from work today. Oh, how nice. And yesterday my cough is getting, oh no. And went to Starbucks, did not go to the library, went home early yesterday afternoon. We'll take care of that cough. Oof, that's no fun. Alrighty. Again, I don't have sprints tonight. I'll have them tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. Tomorrow we'll be looking at mysteries and thrillers, so the darker side of crime fiction. Hope you guys have a very good Monday. I have a new employee to start training. We might have a truck, we might not. We have been notified of issues, so we will see what happens today. Again, hope you guys have a very good Monday. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.